Hi, everybody. So, yesterday we were talking about how there were shepherds that weren't doing their job because they were being selfish and self-centered. We talked about leadership and how it needs to be a good shepherd or caring for others instead of just thinking about yourself. So today we're still in this 34th chapter of Ezekiel, and today's lesson says, this is God's answer. Since none of these shepherds or pastoral leaders or leaders of Israel are doing the right thing, then God's going to do something different. And here's what he's going to do. And see if you don't hear Jesus in these words. So I will rescue my flock, and they will no longer be abused. I will judge between one animal of the flock and another, and I will set over them one shepherd, my servant David. He will feed them and be a shepherd to them. And I, the Lord, will be their God, and my servant David will be a prince among my people. I, the Lord, have spoken. Well, here, Jesus, of course, is that one shepherd that in the line of David, as this predicts, as it predicts. So, one shepherd that will gather all of God's flock together. That is Jesus, of course. And Jesus tells his disciples, they will listen to my voice, and there will be one flock and one shepherd. So this reminds me, listen to his voice. It reminds me of when I was in Israel, we went to Nazareth, and there was a living history museum there. And in that museum, they had all kinds of different stuff that would have been around during Jesus' day. And they had like sheep and goats, and they said that at night the shepherd that is usually there calls the sheep, and they come. And they said, but when he can't be there and there's a substitute here, the substitute will call the sheep, but they won't come. The sheep and goats will just stay away. They have to go get them. And so the sheep know the shepherd's voice. Jesus is picking this up, of course, and using it as an example of how we hear Jesus' voice and how that is important to us and why it's important to us to listen to his voice. And where do we hear his voice? Well, we hear it in the Word. That's definitely Jesus' voice. We hear it in sermons when the Word is preached correctly. We hear it in others at times when they give us good advice. We hear it when we study the Word, when we are at a Bible study. All these places are places where we can hear God's Word. So that's why it's so important to worship, to study God's Word, to be in fellowship with one another in a church. Because this is how God speaks to us. This is how the sheep hear his voice. Well, I hope you have a great day, and thanks for listening. Take care.